Ay, me calde. Ang buka ko na. Video ko na ba? Na? Ay, pడుతుంది అన్నట్టు. Okay.
Hello. Hello. Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will start within 2 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Please mute your audio as well as video. Somebody is playing music, I think. Please mute your audio. I think I have already started recording. So somebody, if having the laptop or good bandwidth mobile, they can also start recording, no problem. Because sometimes automatically recording stops from that is any device. If you see there, from my device also that is happening. That's why, like yesterday, I think Rishikesh has recorded that video was very good. So I will forward that video also for your review purpose. If you have missed some points from yesterday's lecture or those were absent in yesterday's lecture. So if, like yesterday, Rishikesh, if it is possible, you can start recording today also. I have already started. So there will be double video with us because sometime it may be, you can say, problematic that video.
Actually, sir, only one person can record the meeting.
Okay, my recording is already in progress, no?
Yes.
Then no problem. If sometime if you observe that recording has stopped, then you can start recording. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So how many participants are there? Attendees are there from your end? Can you observe?
90.
90.
Okay. Okay.
90.
Okay. Those who were absent yesterday, they can go through the syllabus of unit number 1 once again. Because unit number 1 is totally devoted, that is for introduction to software engineering and different software process models. Okay, including the agile process model, then XP, pair programming concept. That part will be covered in unit number 1. That is already discussed yesterday. I am just taking the quick recap. Then I think we have seen the what is software engineering. Then we have defined software engineering. Then we have defined software. Then we have seen what do you know about it, means about the software and software engineering. Those concepts also discussed yesterday. Yesterday, before beginning the unit number 1, we have discussed about the course prerequisite, then objectives of your SCPM course. Then we have seen the course outcomes. Then we have seen the quickly we have seen overview of each unit. That is the what is content of each unit from unit number 1 to 6. Then we have discussed about the textbooks and the reference books for this subject. Then we have started the introduction to software engineering. We have seen the few concepts. Then we have defined software engineering. So yesterday, those who were present, they know what is software engineering. So we have scope there, and you can ask your questions if you have any query or doubts in last 10 minutes, because we will not take break. We will continue till 3:50. Our lecture will continue, and in last 10 minutes we will see the question answers, and at 4 p.m. we will stop our session. Okay, so that because we are not taking the break today. This is only issue here. So can anybody define software engineering if you know? Yes. So yesterday we have already defined. So it is the you can define it like it is the engineering discipline, right? Which applies theories, techniques, tools for the production of the software and maintenance of software, right? So this is the definition of software engineering that is already discussed. So no need to repeat this part again. We'll directly proceed on next slide. Okay, those students have faced problem yesterday due to the unavailability of screen sharing. They can once again see the definition. If you want, you can note down at your end what is software engineering, that is just discussed, and what is the role of the software engineer, that is also given in current slide. So we'll not waste our time on the same slide because question might be there in some examination. What is software engineering and what is software, or define the following: A, software engineering; B, software. So question might be there, or a question might be there, what are the characteristics of the software, or a question might be like this one, what is software? Explain the different characteristics of software. So there are total basic three characteristics are there, but we can add extra fourth characteristic, that is it is a logical system element likewise. And sometime question might be there, compare software with hardware. Okay, so on this topic such type of questions may be asked in same exam or in same examination for 4 to 5 marks. Then this topic is already discussed about the software engineering, why software engineering is required. So software engineering, there are different FAQs or frequently asked questions. So these questions also we have discussed yesterday. So in order to develop the quality software product, you need to follow the software engineering paradigms like the software development life cycle. Then you have to follow the, you can say, the software engineering process models, and different you can say the templates for developing the software requirement specification, that is SRS document, then feasibility document, or to make the requirements feasibility and whatever. Then you can say example, to estimate the cost of your product or the duration of your product, you can use the standard model like the COCOMO model, cost constructive model, COCOMO 2 or COCOMO 3, I think currently available. So that kind of models are available for estimation of the software cost, and that is the size of your software. Then we have already defined what is software. So this is the definition already covered yesterday. Okay, those students who want, they can note down these things, I think in your notebook also, if you have time. Otherwise you can watch this video also. Okay, because we hope today's video will be good one, so that you can watch that video, and all slides are available in this video. So software is a set of instructions, if you see there, that when executed provide desired features, functions, and performance. Okay, and second parameter you need to consider here, data structure. Software is a data structure also. Okay, or you are using data structure for developing your software application. So it is the data structure that enable the program to adequately manipulate information, if you see there, because user is using the different kind of input data, and after processing you may get the certain expected output. Then it is a documentation or it is descriptive information in the form of hard copy or soft copy, or you can say virtual forms, which describes the operation of the software and how to use the software or software programs, if you say. So this is the, you can say, complete definition of software. If question asks what is software, you need to define software considering these three keywords: instructions, data structures, and documentation. This is compulsory. In order to get the full marks, you have to include these three keywords, then only you will get the 2 marks in this case. Okay. So we have seen 2 terms in this unit, that is the or definition, software engineering definition, then software definition. Then moving towards the next slide, this is the most important slide. So question already asked 2 to 3 times, either in INSEM or NSEM examination. What is software? And explain different characteristics of software. So there are 3 important characteristics of software, and if you see, these all things are given in your pressman also. If you will go through your pressman book, you will get everything there also. So characteristics of software, first characteristic is there, software is developed or engineered. It is not manufactured in the classical sense. So you know, there is continuous software development using your logic in industries, right? We are using the different development tools like the JDK or NetBeans or Python software or Python Studio for developing Python based applications. So you are not manufacturing software like a hardware. Hardwares are manufactured, if you see there. You are manufacturing the, you can say the microprocessor ICs, if you see there, and whatever. Okay, transistors and whatever which are used inside the microprocessor chip. Okay, so then memory, you can say the blocks, right? Either SDRAM or DRAM. You are manufacturing that one, but software is developed, not manufactured, developed or engineered, because specialized professionals, engineering professionals are developing the software. Okay, and they are following the certain software development life cycle or the software engineering paradigms there. Then this is the important characteristic. Okay, then second characteristic is software doesn't wear out. Yeah, you know, wear out means what? If you know, wear out is nothing but the deterioration, or like the, you can say metal, or metal like the iron, you can say, or steel or whatever, due to the, yes, deterioration. Yes, who is asking?
It
Yes,
does not change. It does not change.
yes, yeah. Means like the hardware, its performance, you can say, does not goes on decreasing, but hardware may get rust over it due to oxidation process or whatever, right? So there is deterioration. Okay, so like that, software does not wear out or it does not get rusted, if you see that. Okay, like the metal. So this is the second characteristic. Okay, but so yeah, although the industry is moving towards component based construction, most software continues to be custom built. Okay, nowadays many industries are using the available components, pre-compiled components for assembling the software products, but most industries are still, they are developing the custom built applications or software. Means they are developing the software as per the customer's need or their changing requirements. Okay, they are not assembling their entire software product using the available components like the COTS, commercial off the shelf components. Okay, so these are the you can say the three important characteristic, and from our end also we can add the fourth characteristic, that is software is a logical system element. That may be the fourth characteristic, whereas the hardware is the you can say the physical system element, if you say that. Okay, so are you writing this one, or I will proceed on next slide? Yes, am I audible?
Next slide.
Okay, no problem.
Yes.
Then later one you can note down this one. Okay. Okay. So I have added one extra slide here. So sometimes this question may be asked, that is the compare software with hardware using their characteristics, if you see there. So here I have compared software with hardware. Okay, this slide I have added here. So comparison is on the basis of their characteristics again, that is the software, it is the logical system element, and whereas the hardware is the physical system element. Okay, because software is developed or engineered, whereas the hardware is manufactured in industry, if you say that, right? Because for manufacturing the hardware, that is the certain mold you are using there. Okay, following particular mechanism, similar type of hardware will be manufactured there. But in case of the software, it depends on the programmers or the developers logic. Okay, everything may not be the same as far as your source code is concerned. Your you can say the you can say programs aim will be the same, but your logic may be different there, if you say there. Okay, then third important comparison point, that is the no wear out in case of the software, but it deteriorate. Yes, deteriorate means after certain time period, its performance goes on decreasing, and that is it is having the some, you can say the limitations there. That is the whatever plugins are available for the XP operating system, those cannot be used nowadays for the Windows 10 operating system, if you say that, right? Or XP operating system may not operate properly on your current machine, if you say that. Okay, or may not provide all features, if you say that. Hello, any problem? Hello. Okay, if you are not asking any question, please mute your audio as well as video. Okay, so nowhere out, but deterioration may take place. So there are no spare parts for software, but for hardware you will get a spare part like the, if you see there, your mouse is not working, you can replace with the new mouse. Okay, just connecting it there now, that will happen there. But software, if you have licensed copy of the Windows operating system, if it corrupt, then you need to reinstall it again. Okay, that cannot be considered as a you can say the spare part. Then last comparison point is there, software usually custom built, means you are developing software as per the customers or the users requirement, whereas the hardware is assembled from existing component or manufactured components there. So these are the comparison points between the hardware and software. Then moving towards the next slide. This curve maybe you can use to show the characteristic of the hardware. That is, the software does not wear out, but hardware does it, or it wear out there, if you see there. And this curve is called as the bathtub curve, because it is showing the wear out of hardware. Because if you have purchased new hardware for your you can say the vehicle, okay, so initially, so its burn in period will be there. So initially its a failure rate may be high, okay, but after certain time, due to the friction or whatever, so those parts will become efficient one right now, and their useful life will start. Okay, that is shown here. That is the vertical dotted lines. Okay, if you see there up to the lambda, that is shown. So this is the curve, failure rate versus time. So as time passes, useful life of your hardware will finish after 10 years or 15 years, because it is having the expiry period. So after its expiry period, its wear out will start again. Okay, during burn in period and after its useful life, or after its useful life means when its expiry started, if you see that. So it is showing the again wear out curve, or wear out curve will start rising there. Okay, so this is the bathtub curve. Okay, it is uniform during the useful life of the that particular hardware product, if you see there. Okay, sometimes the question may be there, explain the characteristic of software, that is the software does not wear out, but hardware wear out takes place. In that case, you can show hardware wear out curve, that is the failure rate versus time, using this particular diagram. Okay. If you have any questions, then we'll discuss afterwards these questions. Then next slide is regarding the nature of software and application domain, if you see that. So we have already studied software are developed from the different domains, if you see there. So domains might be, if you see there, data mining is there. Okay, data mining and data warehousing is there, if you see that. Then robotics is there, Internet of Things is there, embedded system is there, then AI, artificial intelligence is there. Okay, then computer vision is there, image processing is there. So these are the different domains from which you can develop your software applications. So it depends on your interest, or area of interest, or your expertise also, in which you are working there. So nature of software are shown here, or categories of software, you can say. System softwares. So these softwares are compulsory, you need to use in your computer system, like the, you can say, operating system having the different supporting system software, like the compiler, assembler, linker, loader. Okay, and operating system itself is the one of the biggest system software, if you see there. Okay, so these are compulsory required in order to run different application software on your if you see on your machine. Then application softwares. So application softwares are used in your machine to perform the specific functionality, if you see there. For example, word processing application, right? For you can say developing the Word document, we are using that particular software. Or nowadays we are using the Microsoft Office, that may be the application software there. Okay, using Microsoft Office you can create the presentation, then you can create the Excel sheet or spreadsheet, then you can develop the Word document also. Okay, then next one is the engineering and scientific software. So software is developed for the engineering applications or scientific applications. Those are called as the engineering and scientific software. So for these are also called as the research based softwares. Okay, to see the simulation of your particular process. Okay, for example, you are using the NH to NH3, that is network simulator, NH to NH3. Okay, network simulator 2, 3, MATLAB, like this. These softwares can be considered as the engineering and scientific software. And scientific softwares are developed for the scientific purpose or reason. If you see there, so scientific softwares may be used for the purpose of weather forecasting, right? Or to measure the depth of your sea, if you see there. And such type of softwares are used in generally at research centers, or like the DRDO centers, or in our case CEDAC center. That is the, those can be installed in supercomputers also, if you see that. Then embedded softwares are there. There are different embedded softwares you are using in your daily life as well as you are developing, if you see that. So embedded softwares like the, we are using the biometric iris recognition system, then thumb recognition system, where you are using the both software as well as hardware. If you say there, that is the, you are using the thumb for using that particular high quality scanner or photo sensor, right? It is scanning your iris image, or you can say the thumb image, and it extracts features from this particular template that is just retrieved, and try to compare with the database templates. If you see there, if it matches, then only it will accept that is the valid or authenticated person. So we are using the embedded software, okay, in such places. Then product line softwares are there, like different softwares we are using to develop the other products also. If you see there, like JDK is there. Then earlier you are using the Python Studio is there, you can say, or the Turbo C is there. Likewise, if you see there, or Microsoft Visual Studio for developing the .NET related applications, ASP.NET, C#.NET, okay, Visual Basic.NET, or you can consider the Android Studio for developing the Android applications or apps. Then web applications, okay, so we are using the different web applications from the starting from the client server applications, like, or you can say the college website, university website, right? It is having the more than one pages which are interlinked, okay, and it may be connected with a particular server also, if you see that. So these are the web applications. So web applications may be again mobile applications or the desktop applications, okay. So that kind of information you should know, because earlier there was one subject, mobile computing. So in that subject, okay, that topic was given how you can develop the same website, how it will view on the mobile, and how you can view that on your desktop machine, okay. Their use will be somewhat different there. Then artificial intelligence softwares nowadays we are using. So at AI, then machine learning related softwares we are using, in then robotics related softwares we are using there. If you see that, so AI means artificial intelligence, which is not, you can say the you are adding intelligence from your side, artificial, right? That is not already available there. Meaning of the AI, such type of artificial intelligence softwares you need to develop there. So this is all about the nature of software or application domains. Okay, so if you have any query regarding this one, you can ask from your side. I will give you 5 minutes, as well as some latest applications are also there. I have added one additional slide here. Some latest application, ubiquitous computing, generally used in wireless network applications. Such type of software applications are there. You can say that network applications. Then net sourcing, generally this is the web as a computing engine in this case. Then open source softwares are available nowadays. We are using those softwares which are freely available, like the Mozilla, then Firefox. Then if you see there your Linux operating system, then if you see there Java also, I think. Okay, so these are the open source softwares. Okay, these are freely available there. Okay, then apart from this one, additional software application areas or domains are there, which we have already discussed. I think data mining, grid computing, cognitive machines, and software for nanotechnologies. So these are the latest application areas. Okay, which may not be in your syllabus, but added here. Okay, but these sorry, application domains are in your syllabus, and it is also given name as a nature of software. Okay, or changing nature of softwares. Okay, so if you have any query, you can ask. Sorry, we'll discuss your question answer in last 10 minutes. Okay, so till 3:50 we'll continue. Then moving towards the next topic from your syllabus is you can say the software myths. So you might have studied or might have listened already. That is the myths, the mythology. Okay, hello. Anybody interested to define software myths or myths? Somebody has unmuted their, yes, have any query, because somebody has unmuted their mic or audio. Yes. If you don't want to ask anything, then please mute your audio. Otherwise, I will continue because it is creating background noise. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Otherwise, I am just speaking here and you are not listening anything, or a slide is also visible, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So please mute your audios as well as videos so that I will proceed on next topic, that is the software myths. Because myths are nothing but the, you can consider these are the misbeliefs or misconception, or you can say the misunderstanding about the particular thing. And if you see there, these myths are classified into three different types. That is the managers myths, customers myths, and practitioners myth, or you can say the developers myths, if you see that. So it definitely affect managers, customers, and the developers or the practitioners, if you see that. And it is also ultimately making impact on the non-technical persons like the stakeholders, if you see that, or the customers, or you can say the uh, end users also, if you see that. Then are believable because they often have elements of truth, if you say that. Myths, I already told you, myths are nothing but the misunderstanding or misbelief about a particular thing, but reality is different. That is managers, these myths are from manager's perspective, customer's perspective, and practitioner's perspective. Means manager think this one, but reality is different. Customer thinks this one, but reality is different. Practitioners thinks that is this statement is correct, will work, but reality is different. Okay, so from each category you should know at least 2 myths, if you see that. Okay, so myth invariably lead to bad decisions if you follow the myths only, because reality is different. Therefore, insist on reality as you navigate your way through software engineering. Because from manager's perspective, there is one myth, the customer's perspective, there is another myth, and partner's perspective, there is another myth. Okay, they are thinking that is it is happening like this one as per their misbelief, if you say that, but reality is different. That is not a true one, if you say that particular statement. So we will directly go to the next slide, where we have classified the software myths and meaning of this particular myth. Software myths are management myths, customer myths, and developer myths. So this question is already asked either, means in every question paper this question is asked either in same examination or in same examination for 4 marks. Okay, explain management myths and customer myths. It is asked for 4 marks. So you have to state any 2 myths from management category and any 2 customers myths from customer category, and you have to explain in brief its reality. Okay, so myth means misbelief, or that is given at bottom, misconception, but reality is different, if you say that. So this is important point you need to remember. And as far as the software engineering concerned, from manager's point of view, customer's point of view, and developer's point of view, there are different myths, if you say that. So we'll see these myths one by one. Okay, so I will take here management myth. First myth, that is the and procedure. Is myth, that is there are sufficient number of books and procedures already available for developing the software product. Means all you can say the programming language knowledge, then you can say the software engineering paradigms, tools, methods, or techniques to be followed are already available in that or those books. So that is enough for the software development. This is the one misconception or misbelief of manager, if you see that. As far as myth number 1 is concerned, reality is different. So reality is there. Are developers aware of those their existence. Developers, people who are working under that also names of those books. Okay, those books might be outdated one. They may not include your latest you can say the development or the standard that is included in current you can say the uh, you can say particular programming language or under particular software discipline, if you see there. So these are the reality, if you see there. Okay, then as far as the second myth is concerned, so you have to remember at least two myths from each category, if you see there. So second myth from management myth category means what manager thinks there. Adding new programmers can catch the lagging schedule because sometime your project lag behind actual schedule, right? So we can catch up the schedule, okay, by adding the additional programmers there. But if you see there, reality is different. Training new people is always time consuming because if you are recruiting freshers there as a new programmers, you need to provide training for those people. They may take the 4 months, 6 months, okay, in order to achieve the sufficient expertise on that particular technology in which they are developing the software. That may be Java, you can say JavaScript, VBScript, or Python, whatever. So this is definitely time consuming as well as the it will increase the budget of your project because you need to provide the extra you can say the money for training those people because expert trainer will be there, if you say that. So these are the two myths from the management's myths category. So you have to remember at least two myths from each category and you should know the reality also. Okay, then only you will get the full marks. Then I have added a third one in also, that is the outsourcing the software. Okay, is just like relaxing. Okay, means we will outsource our software to the third party or third party company and we will relax, let that firm do themselves. So this is not a case there. Means if your industry having the more number of projects, that's why you are outsourcing any one project to the third party or other company for development purpose. So this is not your means your role is not finished there because customer has given that project to your company. Okay, so you should have the continuous communication with the customer and the outsourced company because you will be the middleman there, if you say there. And you have to manage the changing customers requirement in that project because you have to discuss with the customer time to time and you have to intimate those third party or outsourced company also, that is the what are the additional features you need to add in your software as per the customer's expectations. Okay, so you have to keep the continuous communication with that particular outsourced company and they should complete that software project on time or on schedule and within a budget only. It should not exceed the budget also. Okay, and finally you have to collect that project from that outsourced company and you have to hand over to the customer to whom you are developing that particular project. So customer might be one biggest organization also there, if you say that. So this is the reality, if you say there, for as far as the management myths are concerned. So three myths or myths we have seen. So at least two myths you have to remember here. And you should be able to write their reality in your own words. Then moving towards the next category of myths. These myths are from customer's point of view. Okay, for whom you are developing the software. Previous slide was showing the myths from the manager's point of view or from management's perspective. Now, the current slide showing the myths from the customer's perspective. If you see there. So myth one is a general objective statement of project is enough to start working. So this is the misbelief or misunderstanding of the customer. If you see there, and the reality is there, ambiguous statement will lead to wrong software product also, or wrong software development also. So until and unless you are not finalizing, that is the project statement, okay, considering or including all objectives, considering the scope of the project. If you see there, you should not start developing the software, because there may be changes in customers' requirements, and you have to adopt those changes also in your software. So you have to collect all requirements, normal or expected or requirements from the customer. Once requirement are collected and you have analyzed those requirements, you have done the feasibility analysis, feasibility document is created, then only you can proceed for development. Okay, this will be the reality. So this is the misconception or a misbelief of the customer. Then second myth, customer's myth, software is flexible and so changes can be suggested later as well. So this is not a case. If you see there, in case of the applications which are developed using the sequential process model like the waterfall model, those may be developed in a single increment or single release, right? And in those cases, you may not adopt the customers changing requirements at later stages of the development. That is the after the, you can say, the construction. If you see there, or after the design also, it is not possible to remodify that particular design or the source code. So in all software product, this is not possible. So customers should provide all requirements or features needed in their software, okay, in advance. If you see there, otherwise it will become very difficult to adopt it at later stages. Reality, impact of the change suggested in the later phase can lead to failure of software, and if you try to adopt that changing requirement at later stage, it may leads to the failure of software. Okay, that is the reality. So these two are the customer myths. Then what is time now? It is 3:52. So I think we'll finish myth part here, developer myths. We'll stop after that. So first myth is there. Once we write the program and get it to work, our job is done. This is from practitioner's point of view or the developer's point of view, or you can say programmer's point of view. Okay, there. This is the misbelief or the misunderstanding of programmers like you. If you see there, once we write the program and get it to work, our job is done. We will not again see that program. We have finished everything. But reality is that sooner you begin the code writing, longer it will take you to finish, because there might be, you can say, if you did not understand the proper scope of your project or objective of your project, okay, due to misunderstanding, you may implement the wrong logic. If you see that, so it will take more time to modify your logic again. If you see there, so before initiating the program development, try to understand, that is the main scope of your project or the objectives of your project, then only you can start implementation after the proper analysis. Otherwise, you will face the problem. Okay, so reality is different. Reality is sooner you begin the code writing, longer it will take you to finish. And second myth, considering the, you can say the practitioners myth or developers myth category. Until I get the program running, I have no way of assessing its quality. So this is also again misbelief or misunderstanding of the developer. Means what he thinks, until my project program does not execute, but it does not provide the output. Okay, I have no way of assessing its quality. So this is the misunderstanding. Okay, if you are following the particular program writing construct, standard program writing construct, and you are expert on that particular technology, and you are availing the different software quality assurance mechanism. Okay, using that mechanism, you can start testing your software right from the beginning. That is the right from the inception phase of the software development. Okay, so no need to worry about whether till running the that particular software program. So this is the reality about the developers myths, and two more myths are there from developers myths category. The only deliverable product of the software is working program. But reality is there. Besides programs, documents of software engineering and product support guidelines should be provided. Yes, only deliverable product is not enough. Okay, along with the working project, you have to provide the system manual, then user manual. That is the document part or help part. That is stating that is the how your software is going to work and how you can or how user can use that particular software. That is also required. Then myth number 4 from developers myth category: software engineering will make us to produce voluminous and unnecessary documents to produce and slow us down. Yes, as per the developers you can say understanding or point of view, if you see, is stating here, if you are following all software engineering paradigms like the software development life cycle, starting from communication, planning, modeling, then construction, testing, deployment, and maintenance, then we are using the different testing techniques: black box testing, white box testing, structural or functional testing. Likewise, so it makes it them voluminous and unnecessary documents, because you need to produce their system manually, user manual. So this is not a case. Reality is, it is not producing document but creating good quality software which reduces rework, and it assures fast delivery of your software also. You see there. So these are the different software myths we have seen from 3 different categories. I will stop here today. If you have any query or if you have any doubt, you can ask. I am here for next 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, thank you. If you have any query, if you have doubt, you can ask. Okay, can I unshare my slide now so that I can see
Yes,
your
sir.
strength?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, our recording is going on there. Okay, and right now there are 81 attendees. Okay, it's for so if you have any query, you can discuss. Okay, now I am visible to all. Few new students added in third year, I think. Somebody having surname Apte is in your TE computer class. Ashish or something name is there. Surname is Apte. But he is not from your class, because I know regular students from A division as well as the B division, but I don't know that is the year down students. So whether they are valid student or no, not, I don't know. Okay, I will be here for next 10 minutes. If you have any query, you can ask. And those students do not have any query, they can leave the meeting, no problem.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you to all.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
My chat is disabled actually. I don't know how. It
Chat
says
disabled.
administrator disabled for this user.
Okay, no, but I am not administrator. Administrator means our central administrator is there in our college office, and he is looking who has created the all empty accounts, Microsoft Teams accounts. Okay, so better way, who is your TG?
Smita Bhosle, madam.
So you can contact madam and tell that is the Srikant sir will tell that particular admin to change the permission if that is disabled. Okay.
Okay.
Because I have not disabled anyone.
Still, 6 attendees are there. Please leave the meeting. Apurva Mane, Saptasri Wagmare, Saurabh Khade. Please leave the meeting. Saurabh Khade, are you there? Atharva Gund also. Please leave the meeting. Saptasri Wagmare also. 5 attendees are there, means including me.